we have with us Peter. So Peter is the co-founder and the head of product at Starchive. And without further ado, I will leave it up to him right now, and he is going to be chatting with you about Starchive and about AI in his industry.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Miqdad. And everyone, it's a real it's a joy. So I want to tell you a couple of stories, but let me introduce first Starchive, right? And to give you the context of what we're doing. So as I mentioned, we're a digital asset management system. What you're seeing on screen right now is our use of Amazon recognition, object detection. And what we're doing here is every time a file gets uploaded into Starchive, we run it through Amazon. We get a list of labels. We choose the ones that meet our confidence, based on the data that we get back. And then we group everything. And because we're dealing with, largely non-technical creatives, that's our market, we call these auto tags, right? So what Starchive can do is take all of these auto tags, and we can do things like, let's scroll on down and we'll find an auto tag and explore it. Yeah, I mean, something super basic. Let's look at all the blossoms that we found in our asset group. So I've got 104 files. And as you can see, it pulled a lot of pictures of different plants. And if I open up one of these assets, what it will also do is it will show the other labels that we return from Amazon recognition back into Starchive. And you could see if I said, oh, great, I'm looking for all of the roses in my Starchive, I can just click on rose. Now, I know that this is super basic, right? And the work that you all are doing is far more advanced. I mean, there's a lot of natural language processing, there's models training models, there's the interaction between human and computers, there's a lot of things. And just one thing I want to just remind everybody is, even though AI is so exciting, we've got 99% of people who've never really dealt with this. And most people's first reaction when they see AI is, oh my gosh, how did it know that? Well, it knew that because of what you knew. It knew that because of all of that experience and that information that you brought. Let's talk about media, for example. Why is this, right? Well, first of all, creatives and artists and media people and editors, they think a little bit differently than we do as software developers. And that's a really important point that I also want to make, is having real empathy and real understanding of who's going to be using your software is really important. One of my favorite quotes is from Oscar Wilde, who says, "Knowledge without wisdom leads to death of the soul." And that's a really important point. AI is shaping our future. That means that the future is going to look a lot like how we're approaching it right now. And so having that ethos of pathos, having that empathy for your user base, really working to understand what their problems are, and then coming up with both creative and efficient models is really a goal that I think we all share. And so, as you can see on this slide, and I just pulled this from one of our customer decks. Like, media files are not like documents, right? If I have a PDF and let's say it's your university thesis, I can read all of the language in that document. I could use aiXplain's, translation tools to translate that into lots of different languages. And I don't have to be speaking Arabic or English or Swedish or Portuguese to understand the nature of a document. It's a text document. And so it is just absolutely critical to use AI to find data that humans can interact with. So with that, maybe what I can do is field a little questions or kind of, help open the discussion, because I could go on for the next 2 weeks talking about this. And out of respect for Miqdad and the other folks on this call, there's a lot to cover here. So Thank you so much for inviting me to join. I really appreciate it. So the answer is yes, but we're evolving. So we're in version 3. What I showed you was the version 3 of our software. You know, Bob Dylan was our first client about 10 years ago. I mean, it was really the early days of the cloud. So, you know, the early stages of our application were MySQL driven, like Apache, you know, and we wrote a lot of it in just like normal JavaScript and PHP. But that world feels like 2000 years old now. So, you know, we are a cloud serverless, you know, React node stack. And so we're bringing back quite a bit of some of the things that we had in our older product. And in fact, you know, because like labels right now, we're just returning them in English. We have customers in over 200 territories and countries around the world. They want transcription of those labels, which is again one of the reasons we're so excited about the aiXplain integration that we've been working and looking into. Because what happens is, especially with a media file, right? Let's say that we have a video. Something interesting about a video is it'll take an hour-long video, 60 minutes long. In a video, and I'll make this quick because I know there's a lot of other things to get to, and I don't want to go too deep into the weeds, but maybe this will help you all think about media and ways and models to approach it. So media itself is multi-dimensional. If you have a video file, well, it's got sound, maybe. And if it has sound, and I took the sound off the video, well, I guess I don't have a video file anymore. I have an audio file. And if I have an hour-long video file, and I say, oh, I want to grab one frame of that, you should know that a video, and these days it's a little bit different, but basically has about 30 frames a second in normal HD. In modern cameras on your iPhones, they can go up to 60 frames, whatever. But what that means is in an hour-long video, you've got 100,000 still frame images. Each could be run for object detection. Each could be done for all of these things. And so I want you all to think about that you've got a multi-dimensional problem. You've got to separate the audio file so that you can do the speech recognition, so that you can gather the text to do the language translation, so that you can do the sentiment analysis, so that you can judge it against another model, because some words in English don't mean the same thing when they're translated into Arabic. And so it's a really interesting, complex problem just in a single video file, you know, and it's amazing how fast this stuff is going. I mean, we haven't even talked about the metaverse. We haven't even talked about the evolution of video or what AR is. But, you know, yeah, there's these, our North Star is really simple, intuitive organization that allows people to do more creating, right? And by doing more creating, they're going to be interacting with models, and we can help them actually train their models without realizing it.
So this is Peter, everyone. Feel free to reach out to Starchive with any questions that you have. Join Starchive. It would be a lovely in-depth kind of example of what AI is capable of right now in the field of object recognition and image recognition.